Hello world, hope you're doing great. Check it out. We got a fish room tour for you guys. I'm at Daku Aquatics. Let's do this. All right, so he's got multiple rooms.
What's up, guys? So I'll show you first this is my ram rack. I do all my fish breeding in my home office here. Working on a lot of different lines, black rams, regular GBRs. I've got some really cool powder blue rams that I've been working with. Yeah, why don't we show them some of the breeders, I guess. Here's one of these powder blue breeding pairs. Breed all the rams on one of these rows. All these tanks are automatic water changes that I use this manifold on the wall here for. You might want to show them this. This is pretty sweet. Home brewed, basic shower valve up to the PVC manifold with ball valves, and then just a RO push connect tube fitting. So a lot of people ask me about the water change system here, and that's pretty much the secret sauce. It just these RO tubes all the way around the room, and then we have these push connect fittings that you can get on Amazon, and that changes the water in the room. So, but yeah, back to the ram rack here. I showed you guys the powder blues. I've got a couple of different black ram lines that I'm working on. This was an impromptu visit, so I didn't get a chance to clean up nice. So you're going to see it how it's usually a working fish room. Got a lot of the different batches growing out. You can see all my rams are really food motivated, which is nice. They're used to me. I don't automatically feed. I feed all my fish 3 times a day, get them growing nice and strong before they leave here. Yeah, working with a couple of breeder boxes right now to try and breed some rams, kind of how the old hobbyist version of me did it over time. I graduated to Dean's Fry System about 4 years ago and really enjoyed it, but I had to do some maintenance on it, so I'm back to the roots right now. What else do I have in here? These powder blue, sorry, not powder blue, my black and blue rams are really nice. I was working on my black rams for a long time, about 5 years, to get some really nice iridescent blue on the sides of my black rams, and that's one of my females right there. I have some fry from them that are growing out. I think they are down here in that tank. That's a fresh batch that was hatched on February 4th. So those guys, I can't wait to see the color on those guys. That's going to be exciting to see if I get the same colors as some of the females. And if you want to see some other ones, they're going to be in this tank right here. Even some of the males have some nice blue spangling on the sides. And rams are just a passion project for me. They're a really personable fish. You want to?
That guy, he's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always bred them for maximum blue, and I've been able to get a lot of nice color that way. Try and keep the body shape nice and straight. I like that torpedo shape on the black rams. So one cool thing that I've been doing lately is making all of my ram breeding tanks natural with a lot of botanicals. They still get a lot of water changes, but this makes the rams feel a little bit more natural and at home. And I still use the terracotta saucers for them to breed on and try and keep all the other stuff in the tank not breedable. So I'm still able to collect the eggs and raise them artificially, which just gives me a little bit better hatch rate and more per batch. I do let the rams try and raise their own fry every now and again, but for me, it's always best to get the maximum amount of fry and be able to breed them as fast as I can. So this rack is basically just where I keep all my plants. I sell a lot of plants on my website, so I need a place to store them. I am expanding this. We just had our convention this weekend, which was Aquapalooza down here in Coral Springs, Florida. So just a bunch of plants on this rack. And then this rack's really interesting. The last rack in the fish room is actually something that I've been working on for about 2 years now. And this is my 3D printed automatic egg catcher. There's been a lot of cool designs that came out, but this one holds a special place to me because I designed it. And I've been breeding tons of fish like these CPDs, the pea puffers with it, and emerald dwarf rasboras as well. Working on a couple other nano species that are just fun for me to work with. I've also been successful with Scarlet Batis. A lot of people are always looking for females. It took me 4 years, maybe I think it was 3 years to actually find my first female. But once I did, I was able to breed her. And I've been keeping them going here, but haven't really cracked the code on breeding them in mass. So while they use the egg catcher, it seems that they're not quite using it as quickly as I want them to. So that's a work in progress still. You want me to yap on these guys?
Boy.
So these are my spotted Congo puffer. This is just a display tank for them. I have collected the eggs once or twice, but I haven't had any hatch for me. So it's pretty cool to watch them breed, but man, is it brutal. But I just love these guys. So I like to keep them in a nice planted 75. I've got 6 of them in there, and they're just living a nice, happy life, and they're eating all my extra snails. So this is my shrimp room. This is another room in my house. I've got 48 automated Neocaridina tanks in here. I grow all of my Buce that I keep for myself. I grow my mosses that I sell. And it's just an awesome room full of shrimp, and there's plenty to see in here. I also have some multis, which are pretty cool. They like the harder water, so I keep them in here. And the water changes are automated in here as well, but instead of pulling from my tap like I do with the regular fish tanks in this house, I do use an RO system, and I pull from these reservoirs, which you can see they're on wheels, super easy. Water gets remineralized in here, goes up to this pump on the wall, and then if you follow all the pipes around, you'll see that each line of tanks has its own line, so I'm able to do water changes that way.
A Plamsky sticker.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Nice.
I love Plammy. So one fun tip, if you have any fly problems in your shrimp room, is get yourself some carnivorous plants. I know this guy had a meal just the other day.
Nice.
Look at that Dojo Loach.
That was perfect.
Yeah, this is just one of my display tanks. This is an 80-gallon rimless, and I've got some favorite fishes in here. I bred those Bosemani rainbows that are in there. They're juvie still, but they're looking really good, starting to get that color on the sides. And I got 2 really nice Dojo Loaches in here that just swim around all up and in that driftwood, and there he is. There's one of them. That guy jumps out of the tank so much. Good thing they can breathe air, because he'd be a goner a long time ago.
Can you tell me more about this plant here? I've never seen this one.
Yeah, this one's a Crypspiralis tiger. A lot of people grow these in like high-tech displays. I don't do any of that. I don't have time for it nowadays, but this is one of my favorite crypts. It's just like a regular spiralis, but it grows that, pink leaf and really nice lime green vein right down the leaf. Super nice crypt. And I didn't even plant that in any substrate. I used a tiny bit of plant weight, and I dropped it right into the crack in that driftwood, and it's just been feeding off of the water column. I dose it with liquid fertilizer once a week, and it's grabbed on pretty tight to that wood. And these are just a couple nano desktop displays that I keep on my shipping table where I pack all the orders. Another one of my favorite plants is actually in here. This is a mini trident fern. Pretty hard to come by, but I do release a couple portions from time to time, so look out for that if you're interested. And now we're out where the magic happens. These are all my Ricefish ponds. I keep a couple shaded here so I can use the clear water for shipping, but I'll take you around back to all my 150-gallon breeding tubs where you'll see all the different lines that I'm working here with.
And this Bulbitis is going crazy.
Yeah, I love that plant so much. So around the back here are where I keep all the breeding tubs. So every pond down here, I've got 7 lines I'm working with right now. This is the brand new line to me. These are Yozura Golds, really cool fish. And if you're interested in how I build these floating baskets, these are for breeding, which I'll show you in another pond, but this is a 400 micron paint strainer. with just some backer rods siliconed around the rim. And this is where I drop the eggs in so they can raise up without the parents eating them. So this pond is Shigoiku's. This is a really nice tricolor line. This water, by the way, is purposefully green. I'm sure Lucas has told you in plenty of videos, but it's full of microorganisms and the fry can totally survive and live off of it. And it keeps all these fish growing super fast. And yeah, I can pull up some of these bins and you can see some of the fish that I have growing out. Let's check this one and see if we got anything nice in here. Oh, there you go. So these are a tricolor line. I got these last summer from Japan and they've really exploded for me. You can see some of the adults actually do jump into the fry tubs, which is pretty interesting, but they don't mess with them too much as long as they're not newborns. So this pond right here is the sapphires, and these are really nice too. These are another line I brought in a year ago, and you can see some real nice marbling on them. You know, these lines are a little bit harder to work with because there's a higher cull rate, but the culls are really nice. They have that lame glitter gene, and they're just beautiful no matter what you're actually selecting for. So you really can't go wrong with some of the nicer lines. These are the blue Miyukis. If you want a nice glitter line, definitely try these because I can't tell you out of the thousands and thousands that I've bred, you don't have to cull these barely at all. This is one of my favorite lines of rice fish. Just look at those in the sun. It's amazing.
Beautiful.
And the adults, you can even see the adults through that green water. They just shine like crazy. There's one coming up to the surface right now. Classic line. These are the blacks. Pretty simple, pretty standard. None of the next couple of batches or next couple of ponds that I have are the glitter gene, but these are just so beautiful and they do so well for me year round down here in South Florida. And look at this. Look at all the babies that just hatched in here. I can pull these mops out. And if you're interested in these mops real quick, I can give you a quick tutorial. So this is a pool noodle that you just cut with a kitchen knife or whatever you got. And these are Scotch-Brite pads that you can buy on Amazon. And you just cut them up into about half-inch little pieces, keep it attached, roll it up, and just shove it right in the pool noodle. And then let me show what we're looking at here. Oh, this isn't a good one. I don't have any eggs on that one. Let's come down here. I probably got some eggs. I move these around all the time. Yeah, there you go. So there's yourself a bunch of rice fish eggs all over that mop. See that? So these work really good for the rice fish. I've tried them with rainbows. I think they prefer the yarn, but man, the rice fish can't get enough of these more abrasive Scotch-Brite pads. Here's another nice tray. Wow, that one's beautiful. Look at that koi right there. Nice orange head, opaque white body. That's what you're looking for with this line. That's a beautiful fish. That's you know what I mean? I'm 2 rooms of my breeding operation and plant business here, and this is the next expansion that's going to happen here. I already have the shower valve on the wall for the water changes right there. But these are all my immersed Buce racks. When I import Buce from Indonesia, this is where I stage them all after I bring them in for intake. And then from here, I raise them up to be nice and healthy before I ship them out to people. So I'm running low right now. I've got another import coming in a couple of weeks. But if you want to come take a look at some of these varieties, I can show you at least a couple of the ones that I'm working with here. I label them all best that I can. Sometimes they come in unlabeled, but this is a super mini brownie. And how I set these bins up are really simple. It's pea pebbles. Okay, sometimes I do a light layer of aqua soil. But for the most part, I use a Maxi Grow hydroponic fertilizer, very small dose mixed with water, and I just spray these bins every 3 days. And that perfectly mimics how they're grown in the wild on rocks in the jungles of Borneo and other places. And yeah, there's a couple other nice ones I can show you as well. So this is one of my favorite varieties. I always like to keep some of my favorites around. This is Brownie Jade. And you can see how well in just a couple of months that these are rooted in here. You can see the roots just hanging on to those pea pebbles, which are super nice. And with just a little bit of that hydroponic fertilizer, they grow so well in these bins immersed. And when you get healthy Buce that's been grown immersed, converting them to underwater growth is so much easier. So this is a mini from Capit. That's the collection point. Sometimes they come in with just the collection point and what size leaf they are. So some cool things when you import Buce is sometimes you get some little ferns that come out of nowhere, honestly. These are so nice.
Those are cool. Now these are just extraterrestrial, not aquatic, right?
Yeah, these are just terrestrials that grow really well in that humid, immersed condition in these bins. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We've got 100 bins out here, all full of Buce, and I really appreciate Lucas coming by. If you want to see stuff that I'm working on here at Daku Aquatics, I post every day on all the social media platforms. I stick to short form content, so they're 1-minute videos and get just a little taste of what I'm working with here in the business. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Lucas, for coming by.